Hello everyone, I am Nishchal Pokhren, currently working as Masters by Research Fellow at Turbine Testing Lab, Kathmandu University. It is my pleasure to present my paper in this International Symposium in Current Research in Hydropower Technology, that is CRSTX, and the presentation topics for this presentation is opportunity for research and manufacturing of pump in Nepal. And the authors of this paper are Nishchal Pokhran, myself, Amul Gimire, Professor Bhola Thapa, Assistant Professor Biraj Singh Thapa. So this is my presentation outline, which I will be covering. Uh, I start with the background, reason behind doing research in field of pumps, introduction, different types of pumps, introducing different types of pumps, what are the history of pumps in Nepal, what is the current market of pumps, what are the problems, their problems, future prospect, and finally conclusion. So I'd like to enter into the background section of my study. So Nepal is an agricultural country with over 2.7 million hectare of agricultural land, among which only 1.4 million hectares have access to irrigation facility. This means only 50% of cultivable land has been facilitated to irrigation, and the large portion of land is irrigated with the help of lift irrigation project, which essentially require pumps for their operation. Also, depending upon the type of product being manufactured in different industries, they tend to use the large quantity of pumps which require continuous maintenance and replacement. Mm. Considering the industry scenario and agriculture scenario, there are other many numerous instances where pumps are integral part of the system in Nepal. Mm. So, some let's us discuss simply different types of pumps. What is the pump theory? Uh, Pumps are generally operated by either reciprocating or rotating mechanism, which can be broadly classified as positive displacement pumps and dynamic pressure pumps. Some of the reciprocating pumps, like which operates by to and fro mechanisms, are cylinder rotary pumps like gear, lobe, screw pumps, and some of the rotating pumps are like centrifugal pumps, propeller pumps, turbine pumps, for the category of dynamic pressure pumps. So among different types of these pumps I have discussed, centrifugal pumps are being more popular in market nowadays because of their long history and proven technology. Also, they are available in wide range of head and discharge. They can be used in series mode, parallel mode, in order to meet the required criteria of head and discharge when they are in the field. So, if we closely look for another fact regarding the components of centrifugal pumps and the working principle of reaction turbine, they are almost quite similar. For example, if we look component wise of Francis turbine, like it's a reaction turbine, which has parts like runner, spiral casings, draft tube, and inlet pressure fittings. So if we relate this part in case of pumps, pumps also has impeller similar to runner, scroll casing, suction pipe like in case of Francis turbine, draft tube, and delivery pipe like inlet pressure pipe for Francis turbines. So regarding the working principle also, a Francis turbine takes the hydraulic energy and converts into electrical energy, and in contrary, a pumps take uh, electrical energy and imparts hydraulic energy in the form of head. So due to this fact, the working principle of uh, pumps and centrifugal pumps and Francis turbines are quite similar. The reason behind I am talking this is, for example, if any turbine manufacturer has competence in turbine manufacturing or in design technology of turbine, they should also be able to manufacture pump in Nepal. Mm. Also, in nowadays, these pumps can directly operate in turbine mode for small hydropower, and for large hydropower, reversible pumps turbine has been popular nowadays because they can fulfill the peak demand of hydroelectricity in generally in storage hydropower plant, and this can be one of the most feasible thing in case of Nepal are because most of the hydropower in Nepal are of run of river. So as I have my research topics, my presentation topic is opportunity for research. So this is actually a review. We should also try to know what are the status, what is the history of the pumps, or say what is the market, what is the current situation of pumps in Nepal. So I want to introduce some of the brief history of pumps in case of Nepal. So it is difficult to trace the documented history for first use of pumps in Nepal, but however it can be anticipated that diesel powered centrifugal pumps were used uh, in the past in Tarai region before hydroelectricity for irrigation purpose. And one of the oldest irrigation purpose in project in Nepal, Narayani Lift irrigation project, started in operation in 2040 PS, where axial driven pumps were used. It is generally the introduction of pump system in using hydroelectricity in Nepal. So another example is Bhairava Lumbini groundwater irrigation project at that time, which used turbine pumps for irrigation. Also, at some of the industries at that time, like Bhukuti paper mill, established in 2040 years, MK paper mill, some of the sugar mills like Lumbini sugar mill, in the sugar mills, use the pumps at some stage of their industrial process. But after some of the urbanization in major cities of Nepal and establishment of overhead tanks in different cities for drinking water purpose, a pump also started in household purpose, and nowadays it has commonly available in say every houses for the domestic purposes. So with this history, let's try to introduce about the what is the market of the pumps in Nepal, because whenever we do research, it should be worthwhile to the society. What we do research, our society will get benefit or not. So talking about the market of pumps, seeing the past 8 fiscal year report data provided by Nepal Foreign Trade Export, it suggested that the market of pumps has increased in 8 years from 950 millions to over 300 billions, as shown in first figure. So this is the very big amount or say market in itself, because from 3 billions rupees in the period of 5 years, we can generally develop a hydropower of capacity around 100 megawatts or say. So if we see the types of pumps, what are the different types of pumps in Nepal? We can find fuel pumps, hand pumps, equally the pumps used in IC engine. But the largest market is dominated by the centrifugal pumps and the other modern pumps that comes in generally submersible pumps, which are moreover used in Nepal. And recently, with the growing construction activities, the use of concrete pumps are also growing in Nepal with this modern technology. So some of I would like to discuss some of the problems that the pump faces. Problem associated in continuously operating hydraulic machinery like pump as well as turbine. They generally includes erosion, corrosion, cavitation, fracture, or and fatigue. So I like to discuss some of these problems one by one, and what is the problem, the scenario of this problem in case of Nepal. The failure like fracture and fatigue are not very often because it can be solved by use of some high strength material, and the problem of cavitation also can be somehow solved by closely monitoring the pressure around the impeller and proper installation technique, because the cavitation is generally caused due to the fluctuating pressures and and formation of water vapor bubbles when the pressure falls below the vapor pressure of any flowing material. So this can be minimized by closely monitoring the pressures and also some of the proper installation technique, height of the sump and the height of the center line of the pump. The problem related to corrosion can be reduced by proper painting, because the corrosion is generally formed due to the contamination of metal with atmospheric air in moisture environment, and this can be somehow reduced by use of painting. But if we consider the problem of erosion, it has been a headache, generally a headache for many researchers nowadays, because the research says that even small size sediment will be enough to destroy hydraulic machine which are rotating at a pretty very high speed. The sizes of the sediment, even 150 microns, are well enough to destroy the high strength metals. So the past researchers have suggested that in order to minimize such problems, it is necessary to change the hydraulic design, as in case of the various turbines facing sediment erosion. So various researches has been done in worldwide in case of this erosion, starting from European countries, and nowadays Nepal neighboring country China is taking the lead for doing research on erosion in different types of pumps. The study, as shown in the first figure, it is actually a painted impeller. The color is same like of the CFD, and they have shown the erosion areas. So the study done by Dong suggested that sediment erosion around pump impeller is in solid environment is less due to mainly due to the relative velocity. So wherever there is a velocity high, sediment erosion is high. So the researchers have suggested that is mainly the sediment erosion can be minimized by minimizing or playing with relative velocity, but without compromising the efficiency of the real impeller. Uh, till now, I have discussed one by one the problem of sediment erosion, corrosion. Now, let's just discuss the effect of one problem in other. For example, whenever there is erosion, it also enhance further other problems like me say corrosion or cavitation. The past researchers have suggested that the synergy between erosion and corrosion can be either corrosion enhanced or erosion enhanced corrosion, or corrosion enhanced erosion, whichever is dominant. So, due to this, whenever there is erosion, the painted surface may get impart off, and the real metal comes with contact with the atmosphere, and it may suffer from the problem of corrosion, as shown in the figure. And also, due to the sediment erosion, the physics, or the say the relative velocity of around the blade impeller changes, due to which there will be fluctuating pressure, and which also enhance cavitation. So the combined problem enhanced by erosion, corrosion, and cavitation is one of the most challenging topic of research nowadays. So if we see what are the effect of this problem in case of Nepal, whether these problems are faced by Nepalese pump industries or not, Nepalese industries which are using pumps. So till now, no such research has been done in case of Nepal to identify the problems of pumps. But if we see the government data, annually 250 million worth of spare parts of pumps are being imported in the country. This means that mm, uh, pumps faces problem after certain times of erosion, and the user of the pumps are using some of the spare parts to repair it. At the course of my master's literature, I have been visited to some of the industries where they had used pumps. So one of the irrigation project established in Nepal, Narayani Lift Irrigation project, you can see in the second figure, it faces the problem of the erosion. As you can see, the eroded surface plate, and you can see in the another figure sediment coming out of the impeller. So there is the problem of erosion in the pumps in case of Nepal in some of the irrigation project, because in the monsoon season, usually the agriculturists demand more supply of water, and in that season there is the concentration of the sediment in the river is also more. And if we look out the problem in some of the industries, In typical recycling paper mill, which I have visited, the presence of the contaminants like clean sand, unwanted chemicals causes erosion and sometimes cavitation and corrosion too. So till now I have discussed about the areas where the pumps are being used in Nepal. What are the problems in the pumps? What is the market? As I have discussed, the huge market, there is a huge market of pumps in Nepal, and Nepal annually imports the pumps from foreign country. So, concerning this scenario, mm, so what will be the future prospect as an opportunity in case of Nepal in field of the pumps? The current study shows that Nepal has quite a good market for pump, and it is increasing day by day. Almost every houses has one pump in developed cities. As per the government report suggested by National Energy Strategy of Nepal, the growth in production of electricity and in next few years will promote agriculture in the country, where the diesel power will be replaced by electricity in agriculture, because the government forecasted that there will be electricity surplus in few years. Also, the use of modern technique in agriculture, because there are some of the pilot project done by government and non-government organization in solar water pumps and drip irrigation system, so that they will demand more pumps. Also, the report forecasted by Nepal Electricity Authority, almost 30% of electricity will be used in industrial sector. So most of these industry demand pumps at some instance of the process, producing daily essential products, paper mill, sugar mill, oil industry. So I have discussed some of the future perspective in the field of agriculture, irrigations, industries. So looking at all of these components, they have one thing is common, that is pump. So this is the indication that concerning the energy consumption share for future years in Nepal, one place is always occupied by pumps. So whenever there is an opportunity, so there is a challenge too. What are the challenges or the hurdles in introducing pump technology in Nepal? So let's discuss. Despite having such potential market, no manufacturer have in fact initiated manufacturing of pumps in Nepal. Yes, annually we import pumps in Nepal, but none of the manufacturers have manufactured pump in Nepal. But our assumption is any manufacturer working on turbines should also be able to manufacture pumps, because as I have already discussed, the technology of pumps and turbine are quite similar, but due to the lack of knowledge on design and development of competence on fancy turbine as well as pumps in among different manufacturers, it has created some of the hurdles. So also in however in recent days, if we see the recent days, some of the micro hydros company, their production has been altered because the large hydropower are taking the market, and the turbine for large hydropower come from the foreign country. So it is not due to the lack of the competence, Nepalese manufacturer cannot manufacture pumps or say turbine, because we have long history, past history. Some of the even turbine manufacturer has imported small turbines to foreign country also. But it is some of the fear of the manufacturer to jump into this new technology. So in discussing the future prospects, there will be also be the role of the academic institution, because there is a academic institution or the say the research institution is such institution which can directly link into the society. So in case of Nepal also, there is one of the role real model lab, turbine testing lab has been establishing for research center in hydropower in contributing the society. So and it has also taken a greater achievement in past years. One successful story is growing the capability of Nepalese manufacturing developing microwave fancy turbine first time in Nepal. The some of the past years data suggested that in future Nepal, for hydropower mainly the turbines will be a fancy turbine as from past studies. So turbine testing lab is has initiated for developing the capacity and competence in Nepalese industry to develop fancy turbines. The designing of the turbines for handling national geology conditions like sediment laden waters, as I had already described about the sediment water problems, uh, is the key achievement of turbine testing lab. It is capable of designing sediment friendly turbines. And now TTL has also started research on the pumps. So time we can believe that time as we can develop the competence in turbine technology, then Nepalese manufacturers are able to manufacture it in case of Francis turbine. When the competence will be developed in pump technology also, similarly the manufacturer can also manufacture them. Also, TTL has also one of the strong international collaboration background with reputed institutions like NTNU, One University, Korean University, Korea Maritime and Ocean University. They have always provided good support and knowledge sharing regarding designing of turbines for case of sediment erosion. So this because the reason behind explaining this, whenever we manufacture pumps in Nepal also, the problem of the sediment erosion will also be prominent. So in order to develop into the pump technology, we have also to think about the national problem. So in conclusion, we can say that Nepal has a huge potential for application of pump as well as their manufacturing. Uh, but the Nepal is importing all of its pump from foreign country, which is sending a hard on remittance back to the out of the country. So in this case, while the Nepalese manufacturer are looking for possible way to sustain, mm, this new field of pump can be blessing to them because they have competence in manufacturing small turbine. They have also competence in they can also do competence in field of pumps, and can be a possible outway of develop and way to bloom their business once again. Turbine tester academic institute like turbine tester testing laboratory has successfully conducted research to fancy turbines in Nepal. So and they are transferring the knowledge to turbine industries. Now they can the research in the pumps can also be transferred to the energy in the similar way. Initiating new research to develop pumps locally, TTL is trying to broaden their research areas. Initial research in pumps after realizing the need of pump in manufacturing Nepal. So in the near future, we can the academic institution and industry linked up to different ideas, competence, knowledge can be a real chance in developing or starting the pump technology in Nepal in order to grab the existing market and the scenario of the country. So references which I took for my presentation. Thank you for your kind attention. uh, have a good day.